Here we go. All right. Just a second here. And what's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here. Surprise live stream tonight. There. Yeah. And I know I did a surprise one last Saturday. That was unexpected because I wanted to get the poetry and all that out there that I didn't do in that two-parter live stream I did during my vacation that was pertaining to the journals and stuff. But anyway, so tonight's live stream is actually a pretty interesting way that this happened here. Turns out it's a friend of knew one of our I think basically his one of the followers of the one EJS channel. Not me, but me. He's me with MIII 3 eyes. That's always be like, hey, what's up, me? Not me, but you, me to me with the 3 eyes. So yeah, 3 letter eyes. But anyway, but yeah, we have been with EJ's Discord server. We kind of have been talking back and forth. Like I say, sort of sharing a few things with one another, just general conversation. And yeah, it was kind of some things he was kind of going through. Like I say, yeah, just some things he was going through and everything, which I think he's probably also mentioned in EJ's live. So now if he comes here and he chooses that he wants to give the details, I'll let it come from him if hopefully shows up in here, or if he sees the replay and puts in the comment section, something like that. Because for one thing, kind of he also on a different time zone, yeah. So time zone's a little different where he's from and everything. So that because I mean he even because sometimes and then plus he'd be real busy with things. Real nice young man and everything. He's and everything, but yeah, a lot. But he kind of be real busy, sort of like me and EJ. We'd be busy doing what we're doing here. Um, so anyway, in the conversation, like I say, I'm not gonna really give like details or anything like that unless he shows up and he's cool with it and he just puts it in the chat himself or in the comment section, then all fair game. But bottom line in just the general of the conversation, yeah, it's just things just kind of feeling like like things kind of knocking them down in life, and it's just real tough. It's real tough on them. Like it's real hard to what's happened to him is real kind of hard to get back up from it. It's almost kind of like one of those when you don't really you're so the problem is so great that you don't it's hard to even come up with a solution to it. Like what can you do? Kind of like David. I know it'll be a while before we get to that in the Bible readings, but like David, he's on the run from Saul and everything, and like Lord, that Saul is after me and everything. Where are you at, David? I got you, okay. But yeah, but a lot of times it don't be seeming that way. God is always there, but it does. But a lot of times it doesn't always seem that way. But He is there. What? Yeah, like to say that um that's a lot of time how it be. But so for this stream, gonna do there's a little something special. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys different times that I have had, where I have that has caused me to fall down. And I know saying that is mostly metaphorical, but sometimes sometimes it can happen literally. sometimes, but most time, it does be, metaphorically, like, a situation and stuff like that. But yeah, you do have cases where that situation does get literal. So just saying, but yeah, but it does have to do with the subject. So yeah, keep get times that I have failed, but and how and had to get back up and something and how I did it. It wasn't always, what is and obviously, it's not all like, oh, Gabe is just able to do it all. That it's like, nah, Gabe has some help too. Like I say, most importantly, like any of us, help from the good Lord Himself. Because I mean, where would we be without God? That's just without God and through His Son Jesus. I mean, so we be lost. And with Easter upon us, it's Silent Saturday. Yesterday was Good Friday. So yeah, Easter's upon us. The day, resurrection, everything. So you had not been for the Son of God there, God sending His only Son to die for us. Yeah, that's the start. It's a lot that we wouldn't we wouldn't have, where we could, have access to the kingdom of heaven through accepting Jesus into our life as our Lord and Savior. So that's one major thing there. So yeah, yeah, like I say, gonna mention about, like I say, how falling down and getting back up. Um, and also one thing I want to definitely state before we start this, and probably as people, start to come in here, I'll have more than likely make sure to mention again so they can know. And I'll also, and as always, I will post this up along with this video so people can also, more people can even catch the replay of this live stream. Because, like I say, this is what's about to be said, and here is probably something. I mean, who knows? Might somebody hear the replay of this tomorrow or any day after today. Might be just the message they need. To let them know that they can get back up from whatever has caused them to fall. So, um, anyway, first off, this live stream schedule for next week. Actually, it's actually only going to be one live stream next week, which is the Bible reading, because we do that because I definitely want to make sure that's done every week, if nothing else. And it's actually just next week. It's not going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be on Thursday, and this is why, because um, wifey, she's her very unusual work schedule this next week. Um, got two closers. She got two night 12 to 8. Well, actually 12:30 to 8:30, I think. Uh, Tuesday and Wednesday night. And that, yeah, like you might be saying, well, what does that have to do with you in the live stream? Well, the thing is, when she gets off, and usually I start these around 8. And then another thing you might say, well, you could start a little earlier. Technically, I could. But like I say, it's usually much better starting around 8, especially on weekdays there. Maybe if it was the weekend, I might would consider it. Like, EJ, he's doing a special stream tomorrow for, celebrating Easter. And then they're gonna be, watching WrestleMania and stuff like that. But first, he's going to, just, probably, I'm guessing, because he watched the Jesus movie in his Friday stream, which, I loaned him the copy so he could have for the live stream. Let him borrow that. But, so yeah, I guess it's probably going to be, probably talking about, what he did at his church, probably maybe like what you guys do for Easter, uh, probably I guess probably another one of his improv, but it will be it will be the subject of Easter and the resurrection. So yeah, it's gonna. So Yeah, he started. That's why because they got yeah, like I say, then WrestleMania for some reason, because I don't know why they put their thing on Easter or even it's like it's almost like having Super Bowl on Valentine's Day for some reason. But anyway, so yeah, yeah, the weekend that would be a consideration. I haven't really never. Well, I've thought about that a few times. There has been cases where I thought of like 7 o'clock on certain nights, depending on what it was. But it still, but for the moment, it's still been always been 8 on my end. I get, yeah, like I say, if something comes up, I might, yeah, like on the weekend. But yeah, weekdays is usually 8 o'clock. Didn't mean to ramble. Usually 8 o'clock on weeknight. That's usually the best time that a lot of most, not everybody, but most people in general. Um, Especially if you're because like in my case I work early morning, but most people in general usually going to be working like shifts ranging anywhere from 8 to 4, 9 to 5, or 10 to 6, stuff like that. Yeah, you like I said, usually getting off work anywhere between 4 to 6 o'clock. So yeah, you kind of want to kind of consider those that crowd there. You know, they come in, they want to kind of get relaxed and everything, and then tune into the stream at 8 o'clock. So yeah, you want to kind of consider that one on the weekday rush mostly. Yeah, like I say, weekends kind of different. I know some people do work on the weekend. I work on the weekends, but not. But it's but more people work. But you got more weekday workers than weekend workers. It's a kind of a majority thing, is what it is. Not saying that nobody works on weekend, but it's just most most of the general audience is weekday workers, especially like you consider jobs like the library and stuff like that. So that's why. But that's why, like I say, because if I start the stream, then even if she takes me like, "Hey, Gabe, I'm on my way. I know you're in the stream and stuff." My thing is it's kind of a courtesy thing too. I'm kind of like um, be like she come in, I like, "Hey, babe, how you doing?" And everything, and you can't do that when you're on a live stream there, because then you're on the live stream, I mean, I could, and even then, I say, "Well, hey, I'll be right back," but it work a lot better to, yeah, it's not it just don't work for me doing having to do that. Just yeah, it's just me though. It's just kind of how. So instead, Tuesday and Wednesday, what I will give you guys instead of streaming, like I say, Thursday Bible reading live stream, because like I say, because of what's going on Tuesday and Wednesday, so just moving it to Thursday and still be able to have it. Tuesday and Wednesday will actually be a couple of the videos, a couple of the um, videos that I've uploaded to Patreon as of now, and make sure y'all definitely support me on Patreon there. As of now, let's see, switch over to my creator profile. So as of now, I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so yeah, as of now, I got 2 Yu-Gi-Oh manga readings. Oh, I have 4, but I guess no. That's weird. But anyway, it's 2 Yu-Gi-Oh manga readings, and then there's a video that I went on, and this was actually made recently. I think like earlier this week. Christina was telling about a rough draft that of Bubblina that didn't get published, so uh, that's up there. So it's probably going to be uh, manga. It's probably going to be 2 and 3 of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga series that will be released Tuesday and Wednesday. And like I say, I'm still uploading some more videos for early viewing on Patreon. So yeah, like I say, definitely sign up on that Patreon so y'all can see that. And and there will, like I mentioned before, there is a Patreon exclusive that won't be on YouTube, but Patreon only. It is coming. Like I say, that it takes because like I say, it takes a while to upload these there. So I got two other manga readings to upload. The Patreon exclusive video and another one pertaining to Power Rangers and Mr. Peanut. So that's four videos I got left to upload, and like I say, they do take a while. There are cases where I can get like two in one day, and plus doing the live streams too to keep you guys updated on stuff. And another reason, because like I say, each time something's uploaded. Now this is a strong hotspot. It's not. Yeah, it's a lot better than the one I used to have when I first started doing YouTube years ago. I think back in 20, stronger than the one I had back in 2020, and then I had to get that the upgrade but it still has its it still has its limits, and yeah, you do have to like I say, there's only and then plus even uh, with even just say like well it got enough power to do quite a bit, which it has. It's still the matter of the time and uploading them. Yeah, because like I say, even if I'm not streaming that day, there's still other things that have to be done, and like I say, and then plus you got the computer having to run to do it and stuff. So yeah, like I say, but yeah, they'll be up. They will be up. So you'll get them. Like I say, the Patreon exclusive will be the last thing I upload. That way you can get the early releases first there. Uh, so they'll be so yeah, you'll see them up there. And I gotta paste last I gotta paste the Wednesday's Bible reading that I did this past Wednesday. I gotta get that up on there. Um, yeah, so a lot of times that gets up there after it's been on YouTube live stream. But yeah, I still post Bible readings up on the Patreon too for everybody to see, and all my members, free and paid. Yeah, so but yeah, definitely. So yeah, like I said, definitely do that. So you can see all that. Like, share, subscribe, buy our books and stuff. And like I say, different patrons, EJ, Case, and Iceman Universe. Definitely check out Iceman's stuff because he got full length reactions to um, Hey Arnold, and One Piece, Naruto, as well as Ed Nettie. Support our Miracle Crew members, EJ, Big Sis Casey, and of course Queen Tina. All of us working together, as well as also definitely, definitely make sure you just like you hang out with us on the live stream, hang out with us on Discord, Facebook, and let's sell each other stuff on the Macari app. I'm probably going to be adding a couple of things to that Macari app to sell. That way, so yeah, be on the look. So if you hadn't got it yet, definitely get it because there's a couple. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll see when you sign up on the Carry app, and then you can also sell some stuff too, so you can get you a little money too. So there is that, and I also bought a couple of things from Carry just recently, so I'll be waiting on them to come in next week. So yeah, that's what's going to happen, and yeah, like I say, it will be mentioned again at the end of the stream as well, and maybe even more than that. As people coming in to tell them, whoever comes in here. It's kind of surprising. I know I did put up for everybody. Oh no, you don't you freeze up on me live stream. This is very important here. All right. Yeah. It's let me. Okay, just trying to see if everybody got the message here. Yes, I did. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, see. Trying to sell. I did tag people in there. Just kind of maybe remind them. I'm pretty sure he would know, but yeah, sometimes we do forget there. Or either, probably maybe busy with something, but yeah, kind of. All right. So at least get my main ones in here. Try to, let's see, maybe, let's see, someone here. Taking certain someone in here now. Yes. Yeah, like that. And tag some people into the post there. That'll kind of get them in there. Yeah, it's a pretty inspirational one. All right. All right, so that should get some people in here. Oh, okay. I know it's a surprise stream, but it's a very yeah. And I did take like I say, me, not me, but me with the three eyes there. But like I say, now in his case, it could be because, like I say, different time zone and everything. So, uh, yeah, like I said, I did take him in there, but yeah, his time zone could be a thing. But at least, I guess, at least if he misses, at least he'll be able to see the replay if he doesn't make it in here in time there. So, um, and then plus, I'll more than likely have it posted too with the schedule, with the live stream schedule. That's only going to be Bible reading on Thursday and premieres on Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, so it'll be so the premieres definitely will be they'll be like a live because it has the chat when the video first premieres and stuff, but it's already been pre-recorded, so you're basically responding to a pre-recorded video, and and yeah, so I'll be able to be in there without actually having to be in front of the camera that very night there, so and be able to talk with you guys, and Christina comes in, honey, I'm home, and I can still have it going, and see her in and everything, and y'all still had the video to enjoy. So, yep. Uh, so there will be that there. So let's get in. Just to say, we get into this, go and get started, and like I say, should join in as we go along. So, okay, so get back up. Because first thing to start off with, I'm going to tell my experience as well with this. But before doing that, let's talk about certain like start with the characters I posted in the thumbnail, along with some other characters as well. Just kind of briefly of how they have sometimes they fall and have to get back up. So as you can see, first on here you got okay, what's going on here? Okay. All right, so on here you got, as you can see, you got Static Shock, Superman on one side of me, over here. Static, Superman, yeah, that's actually my version of Superman from my fan fiction Superman and Supergirl. And of course, yours truly. Yeah, Yugi. That's and notice this. Sometimes I put like Yami Yugi, but that's just the regular Yugi from Dark Dimensions. When he was pretty much taking a stand for himself against Kaiba and Agami, and right in front of Yugi, Darkwing Duck, and that Darkwing Duck is actually from the 2017 DuckTales series, the reboot DuckTales series. So, and there's a reason why that is. So let me briefly explain about the characters in the thumbnail. Static Shock, of course, the inspiration for Star Striker. Um, Pretty much, times that he's falling. Pretty when he first became a superhero, that the first time, like when he first started out, he handled some regular people that were trying to steal from a hardware store, from a garage warehouse, yeah. Then, but then when he started dealing with, like the Bang Babies and stuff like that, first one being Hot Streak, which actually was Francis, his school bully that now had firepower. When he faced off with him, he was confident at first, kind of, spitting little one-liners and stuff like that. However, despite the fact that he had these power, his electric powers and stuff like that, there was still that part of him, as when he was, before that part of him that still had a fear of Francis, even before him and Francis had, the power. They were just, regular folks at school and stuff. Because like I say, Francis was pretty much a bully at school. He still had that fear in him, and um, their first encounter, he got lucky because the firefighter showed up and got was able to hand was they put out Francis everything. Rick was like, "What happened? I choked." Yeah, so it was the yeah. Sometimes we fall because of a fear of something. A lot of time we have it in us to overcome our problems. The solution we have. I mean, we have the ability to overcome our problem in us all the time, and a lot of time we are aware of it, but sometimes we get afraid in a certain situation. It's almost as if we forget. Sort of like Peter walking on the water. When they saw Jesus, he's like, "Look, it's a ghost. Be of good cheer. Do not be afraid. It is I. Lord, if it is you, let me come to you on the water." Come, Peter. Peter had it at first because he had his eyes on Jesus, but then he took his eyes off and he started to doubt. He brought as long as he was looking at Jesus, but when he started kind of looking around, like probably saw some waves and stuff like that. And then he started down. Next thing you know, he was no his doubt caused him to no longer be able to walk on the water like Jesus was and commanded him to. He was starting to sink. "Oh Lord, save me! Oh man of little faith, why do you doubt? Truly, you are the Son of God." So yeah, those are yeah, like I say, yeah, fear is a very major obstacle that will cause many of our downfalls at times, and even like I say, even to me, like I say, because I'm like you and anybody else, I'm human too. So I got fears too, even as a 37-year-old man. So just saying, I say I'm not gonna. That's one thing about it, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, uh, "Well, I am a man, and I ain't scared of nothing. I'm a man." It's like, okay, okay, Mister Man. Mister Man. There's a wasp over there. So, just saying, as an example, there. Yeah, like I say, it's something out there that that scares any of us. Um, but as a wise old train said in Thomas the Tank Engine, Gator, as he told when Percy was like, "Gator, you're really brave." "Well, Percy, you might be more brave than you think you are. You see, I was made. See, I'm a train that was built for the high mountains. But just because you're made for a specific thing doesn't mean that it's not possible for you to be afraid of it. and I get really fearful of going in high places, but of high bridges. But I know I have to do my job, so I have to. So despite my fears, I have to push through and do it. You see, Percy, being brave doesn't mean you're never gonna get scared. It's what you do even when you are afraid. So yeah, that's one way of that's a way of getting through the fears as the obstacle that will knock us down in order to get back up. Um, the like I say, as for in relation with fears, the one thing that gets that I'm uneasy with and somewhat of a fear, the big trucks on the freeway when I'm driving, especially on like I say, especially on the freeway, even on the roads. But yeah, them on the freeway, it's more it affects me more so. Having the big trucks, like the one with the big trailers and stuff like that. Yeah, and see, they if they be in front of you, they flick rocks. Not all the time, but it's a chance that the tires might cause rocks to flick and hit your window. Um, Now my thing with it, like I say, is now that's one reason I try to not be behind these big trucks or anywhere near them. I try to be ahead of the big trucks. Also, another reason is, like I say, there, especially on the freeway, there is a slight fear I have when I drive around to get in front of them. The fear that suddenly they might not see me because depending on how the view in their mirror is, and they might all of a sudden drive over and end up smashing not only just my car but me as well in the car. Yeah, so there. But like I say, as Gator told Percy, it's what you do when you are afraid. So yeah, like I say, yeah, it's there. But like I say, like one thing I was telling, like I told the dude I met, and I probably told some other people about this. I mean, I know I can't just say, God, take this truck off the freeway. Don't work that way, man. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, like like Jesus said, don't test the Lord your God. That's yeah. You tell, like I say, yeah. So that's something. Yeah, it's got yeah. Just gave drive around the truck. So yeah. So there is that. Then like I say, okay. So the other so a brief on the other characters. Okay. Um, Darkwing Duck. Now most people know him from from the '90s series Darkwing Duck. That was sort of a spinoff from Ducktales because they wanted to do a double O Duck thing because of Launchpad, but they kind of Disney was sort of skeptic of the rights thing, so they changed it to Darkwing Duck, and that's how we got that. Um, Darkwing Duck was one that always would get back up because he gets knocked down a whole lot, both metaphorically and literally. So there was constantly times he had to get back up from different situations like that. The reboot DuckTales series took that and made it more meaningful, sort of giving him a little Captain America reference. How Captain said, I could do this all day." So um, the episode "The Duck Knight Returns," Jim Sterling was supposed to be the actor for Darkwing Duck. It was a TV show in their universe that eventually became real. But so they was going to make a Darkwing movie. The actor picked for it. Of course, you find out at the end of the episode his name is Drake Ballard, and the Jim Sterling doesn't like this because he wants to be in the movie and everything, and this leads to him trying to get rid of Drake Ballard, pretty much driving him insane, which eventually leads to him becoming Negaduck there. So before then, yeah, before he completely goes, to that level of insanity, He's he's pretty much he's locked Drake Mallor in a closet. He come he tries to do the final scene, but really goes off because the script wants him to surrender to Negavolt, but he's like I have lost the ability to surrender to a 10-watt dim bulb like you, and pretty much goes crazy with by shooting this electric laser thing. No cuts. Jim Starlin never cuts. I'll film this direct. I'll make sure this finale is filmed even if it kills me and everyone on this set. But Drake Mallor shows up. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the overstuffed burrito that spills onto the lap of crime. I am Darkwing Duck. Dun, 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 dun. No, I am Zap. And that overstuffed burrito line was actually said by the original Darkwing Duck actor Jim Cummings from the '90s series at a Comic-Con before the reboot DuckTales series began. Interesting. So so they're trying to stop Jim Sterling, and there's this Launchpad has to try to turn the rain machine off while Drake Mallor Darkwing Duck distracts Jim Sterling Darkwing Duck, and Jim Sterling keeps trying to zap him with he zaps this TNT that he's standing on, making it explode. Darkwing, no! And Drake is getting back up, and then he tries to drop a piano on him. Classic cartoon antics. Drop a piano or a safe or something. Darkwing, no! And there's even a funny bit. He has the piano keys in his mouth, and as they fall out of his mouth, you hear a little familiar tone. Do, 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 do. Daring Duck a mystery. And he keeps marching as he's getting zapped by that electric ray. Why don't you stay down? Yep, and they have their little brawl, and Launchpad gives a speech like stop. You're not a villain. You're a hero. Our hero. No matter what, no matter how tough things got, Darkwing Duck always stood up and fought for what was right. See, Darkwing Duck is bigger than one man. He shows us the good, and he went all into it. And so, yeah, like I say, that was a both metaphorical and literal example of getting back up, Darkwing Duck style, and also metaphorically, before this even happened earlier in the episode, Drake Mallor explained to Launchpad, what the role, having this role meant to him, and why, he really wanted to make a good impact doing this. When they saw this Darkwing Duck lunchbox, he's like, "Hey, I had one just like a kid when I was a kid and everything. Not like this, he did." He said, see, you might not believe this, but I was not exactly the most popular kid at school." What? No. I know, right? But then I saw this TV show and this hero, and he was amazing. No matter how many times he was beaten up or blown up, or no matter or how much property damage he caused, or how many planes he fell out of, he always got right back up and fought what was right. So you got that lunchbox. Everybody saw how cool you was, and they stopped beating you up. No, well, they beat me up even harder, but I kept getting back up. And the last panel showed that apparently he somehow used that lunchbox to pretty much give that bully quite a sock to the face there. Oh boy. I know this movie's not perfect, but I want to make it better. So that maybe my face could be on the lunchbox that inspires some other kid. You are a true fan. So, yeah. So like I say, they turned what was actually meant for slapstick in the '90s series. They turned it into a very inspirational moment for the show. for this episode. So that was how Darkwing Duck fit in with the subject. Um, I said static. Then of course, Superman. Um, now I know the image I used was from my Superman and Supergirl series. But of course, there are. I think I think the best thing to probably reference is what we got currently with the Superman trailer from James Gunn's movie. As we see, in the trailer, yeah, and definitely check out the one EJS channel because we were talking because I was on. I made a cameo in one of his streams. I think it was on Saturday. I want to say I think it was Saturday. I made the appearance on his stream. We was talking about to talk about the either I think it was I think it had to be Saturday. Yeah, talking about the Superman trailer and everything, and what we thought about it and everything, and what was going to be soon to come. So in the trailer, you notice that it started, especially with the clip. Superman fell from the sky. Obviously, whatever he was fighting, it looked like they got something pretty big that's gonna be, causing a lot of trouble that Superman has to face, and might not even be the only threat. There might he might have like some smaller threats, and maybe this is like gonna be the big finale or something. This look like a dragon or something, or maybe he's fighting, whatever sent this thing. But anyway, he got knocked down, and the over in the north and everything in Antarctica, so whistles for Crypto to come get him. So literally, he fell and had his dog Crypto after kind of playing around. Ow, Crypto, stop! Take me home, and to literally bring him back. Yeah. Hold on a second. You forget. Hmm, that's strange. Oh, hey, what's going on? Me with the not me, but me with the three eyes. What's going on there? Yeah, I'm glad you arrived there. Yeah, I just had gave a couple examples from the thumbnail of what was it? Oh yeah, Darkwing Duck and what's that Static? How they oh, it's cool, man. So hey, like I say, but how they had fallen and got back up. Then I was just mentioning about the Superman trailer, how he fell from the sky and everything. Had Crypto to help him back up. Uh, let's see, they help him back up and everything, and he oh hey, no problem, man. Like I say, because the way like I say, we like I say, it's we all need somebody to help us get back up in life. Matter of fact, since you're here and everything, I'm just gonna go on start with different. What's up, BJ? Say yeah, that's it. Study after 30. Okay, 30 minutes. Okay, all right. So let's go. Okay, so one major, okay, so going with my, putting myself, what have I fallen in, had to get back up on? Um, okay, one major thing I can tell you right off the top of my head, summer school. Especially, like you say, you say about your classes and stuff like that. When, okay, so when I was in the eighth grade, and I'm just being honest here. I honestly, sixth grade, I did real good in class. Had, A's, B's, stuff like that. Maybe a few C's from time to two, but had a pretty good average there. Seventh grade, still kind of good, but not quite as good. The sixth grade, I barely passed. I got just enough to get to the eighth grade. Um, and then eighth grade came. I'm not completely sure how I started, if it was, decent or anything, but I do know in that last half of eighth grade, I kind of had quite a bit of stuff like that, like not so good grades and stuff like that. Yeah, sort of would go down at times in the eighth grade. Yeah, and then plus I had like some teachers and stuff that kind of, especially like my English teacher didn't really. We sort of butted heads at times there. So yeah, it was a pretty rough patch, that especially that last half of eighth grade. And yeah, so when I got to eighth grade, oh yeah, yeah, I know WrestleMania is there. When I got towards the end of it, we had how in high school they have um the exit exam. I say, well, I know you just started high school, me, but I think you said like 14 there. Um, but in my here over in America, like we have exit exams that we take in high school, and you take them, so you have to pass both your classes and you have to pass those exit exams too. All of that in order to graduate high school. Uh, but we also had one in the eighth grade in order to graduate and get to the ninth grade high school. So this was the thing. We took a practice test of a seventh grade, but it didn't. Whether we passed it or not, it didn't. It was nothing happened because it was a practice test. Eighth grade was the real deal, but because I don't know why, but for some reason I did not take it seriously. And when when it came time, like we was about to get out of school, and I'm like, "Yay! I'm excited for summer vacation." I will never forget that day when I got that note from my school that I had to show to my mom and that showed my mom and my grandparents. You have to go to summer school to retake this portion of the math exit exam. And also, I had to retake just my regular English class, not that part of the test, but just my regular English class. Remember, I mentioned my eighth grade English teacher and I kind of butted heads a lot, so that kind of was the cost of that. Um, I was really devastated. I was really destroyed mentally. I did tell my folks about it, and yeah, like I say, and now my folks, like I say, yeah, they were. I mean, now honestly, they were disappointed, and it was not to the point. Now, not to the point that they, put me down or anything like that. More like when someone gives you constructive criticism, like that type of, now because honestly speaking, I like I just said, I didn't take that test seriously. And honestly, yeah, there were times that I really, because like I said, I really did good in the sixth grade, but yeah, seventh grade barely passed, but yeah, eighth grade I kind of had that. Well, I sometimes would do good, but then there was times that I just it's sort of like, well, you're not doing your best, Gabe, and then yeah, it just wasn't there. Yeah, like I say. So it wasn't, the fact of like, oh well, Gabe's studying hard as he can. Yeah, like I say, I mean, I would, but like I said, there were times that I just sort of slack there. I actually was slacking in eighth grade at times there, not all the time, but at times. and a lot of the slacking is what caused me to have to go. Have it caused me to fail English class and the math part of my test, and that was yeah. So it was some of my fault there, and that was another reason I felt so depressed. I was like, oh man, and I felt like if it was like that, then I felt like what was the point? I had like 1 week, which was the week of Memorial Day, and 1 week before after getting out of the I should probably anywhere between 10 10:30. Try to get like a good 2 hours. Uh, yeah, just probably like I say, probably 10:30. I should be wrapping it up. All depends there, but that would be like the latest I would be on there. Uh, yeah, to try to share as much as I can there. So yeah, okay, but let's yeah, be sure to catch the replay of it, EJ. Yeah. Oh yeah, like I said, so yeah, I was really depressed on that. Yeah, major. Yeah, so yeah, like I say, I have felt depression. Um, that last when I got out of like regular school, but I still had to go to summer school. Like had 1 week before summer school would start, so I called myself. I was like, well, I'm going to enjoy this 1 week of summer. I was and I felt like after that week was up, that my life would be over. That's what I felt like. Not I'm not saying that I was gonna like die or anything like that, but yeah, mentally, yeah, I just I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it. Like get to high school and stuff like that. Yeah, like so started summer school. Um, tried to have somewhat of a chipper attitude, but I still was depressed because yeah, like I say, it just I sort of was to myself um, because of how bummed out I was. It was the second day of summer school. Second day of summer school. That was when I first met. Okay, okay, cool, cool. All right. Well, we'll keep your seat warm. Let me go get the heater to keep your seat warm, EJ. So, all right. So yeah, like I say, that second day of summer school. That's during lunch. That's when I met Big Sis Casey. I'm pretty sure you've seen the picture before, but yeah, like you see, there's me right there. There's and then next to me, of course, is Christina, and there's Big Sis Casey, and of course EJ from EJS there. So yeah, that's when I first met Casey. She came to my lunch table. She said, you mind if I sit here with you? And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. But then I got a good look at her, and I was like, you look a lot like that brown haired girl from Yu-Gi-Oh. And she said, oh, you mean Taya? Yeah, I get that a lot. So then that's how that's what it started. Um, we just started talking about Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that, and then she helped me to understand the show and stuff because of that, because of just having someone to talk to like that. And then we was on the phone, after school stuff, watching the episodes that came on the weekdays and on Saturday mornings. While still, that actually that lifted my spirits. That to the point that it brought me out of my depression. Because I actually had, it was like, yeah, I couldn't wait to go to school the next day just to see and talk to her there, especially as a really good friend and everything. Um, so yeah, um, so the Lord God through his he worked through Casey to motivate me to like, maybe I can. Yeah, I'm gonna actually try to to pass my class, to pass this test in my English class, so I could get to the ninth grade. That was the motivation there, and especially more motivation with us watching Yu-Gi-Oh, because one thing they always did, that especially season one, like like we can do this. The heart of the cards, stuff like that. They always would help pull each other up. Yugi, Joey, Tristan, and Taya. They always were there for one another. Like you could do it, Yugi. You could do it, Joey. So that really pulled me up through it. Also, I would assume it pulls her up through it. You know, but like I said, that just that motivation there really brought. So yeah, and it was in me to pass. But sometimes when you get really depressed, sometimes you forget that you can do that there. So yeah, like I say, that I have fallen into that before, and that was what got me out of that. Um, yeah, so that like I say, it got me through summer school. And like I say, thank God Casey was there for me like she was. And not only just with motivating me to pass the class, but even just like I say, just in other things as well. Even after and even during summer school. Like this one time, I was I came, there's one, it was one, it was, not sure what day it was, but one day I came up there, we was waiting everybody, was waiting to go to class and stuff. So we had to wait in the gym class for the bell to ring. I go in there and I sit on the bottom bleachers. And I think Case was there. I think either she was there or I was going to wait for her to come sit next to me on the bottom bleacher. But the principal told me, go up to the top. I'm like, this room right there. Go up the top, Gabriel. Now. Don't be looking at me like that. And oh my goodness, this was really scary. And this now, like I say, once I was up there and the bell rang for class, everybody immediately left and everything. I looked down from those bleachers. I really hate bleachers at school. I was like, now there are some not all the bleachers are really bad. Um, they're not. It's like if you go downstairs, they have railings. Some stairs don't have railings, but it's still not. You can still get down. You just be real careful not to fall or something. Um, but the bleachers, especially the ones that were here at the summer school I went to, these these were not easy to get down. If you could climb up them easily. That's the easy part. But coming down them, especially from way up at the top, that that is a hard for me. That was really difficult there, and also I was looking down too. I was as terrified as a cat up in a tree. So I'm looking down like it's like it just was freaking me out and everything. And Casey came back in there. Class has started. It started because everybody left. But Casey came back in there because she realized I hadn't left. She came, despite the fact that we were gonna be late for class. She's like Gabriel, just come. It's like just take your time coming down. I'm gonna be right here to make sure you get down safely. I'm gonna be right. I'm not gonna leave you, Gabe. So yes, or like I mentioned about Peter keeping his eyes on Jesus, and he could walk on the water. So long as so I saw that really helped. I was still a little nervous getting down, but like I said, I did my best. I kept my eyes forward. Casey kind of is like, "Come on, you're almost there. Come on, Gabe. Come on, Gabe, you're almost there. Ooh, boy, I was so glad when I got down there. And we rushed off the class there. Got in trouble for being late, but yeah, like I say, I was the thank God that case came back there and did that there. Yeah, and that's one reason, and that's another reason. Like I say, I look at her as a big sister, uh, because she is very she's like she's only a year older than me, but yeah, she pretty much is um like a major older sibling, kind of looking out for me and everything. Okay, I thought he was. I guess he said he wasn't going to be on there long, but I thought he was going to save the rest. I thought he was going to react to WrestleMania on Sunday. Uh, the, the main event. Oh, okay. But yeah. So yeah, that was yeah, like I say, that like I said, that really helped me up as well as also getting back up with other things in life. There's like I say, majorly getting back up there, and especially like again, I say with the school, if I was able to get to the ninth grade and everything, um, and that actually was not the first time I had to go to summer school. So I got to high school, ninth grade, I got to really well. The only the only thing was I did well in a lot of my ninth grade classes. Science was my weakest. Like you say, I think you said physics was your weakest there. That you didn't, that wasn't really your thing there. My science class was the weakest for me, and I even took and I took notes and I took notes and stuff like that. Like and tried to and did and I really was trying to get the information and study it to take my tests and stuff in there. So, but but like I say, one good thing though, glory be to God, my science teacher, unlike in eighth grade where like I said I was slacking in eighth grade, my science teacher saw ninth grade. Okay, I know, Gabe, you're not really doing. You don't seem like you're doing the best here, but I see you are really trying to get the information. I see you taking notes, and also you're the only one in this class that is actually behaving themselves. Because let me tell you, the other students in the science class were pretty rowdy. They were just like all wild and stuff, and I'm the only one that's actually trying to work in the class. So because of that, yeah, he actually cut me a break. And what I mean by cut a break, he actually gave me some extra help that at least got me up to where I was at least able to get a C plus in the science class along with my other grades, and pass the ninth grade there. So um, yeah, and also another class that I was kind of weak in, but the teacher did. But I also got help from the teacher because I was trying my typewriting class, well, actually computer class, but it was pretty much typewriting. The computer class, because I when I signed up for that, I was thinking, like, well, I got a computer at home. Yeah, I'll take some computer class. I did not realize they were going to have the keys covered. What they wanted you to do. Welcome back, EJ. Welcome back. This you. Oh, well, you. Okay, but anyway, well, welcome back, guy. Anyway, uh, I guess we both surprised each other. So guess guess it's all fair game. Um, I just mentioned earlier while you were away, EJ. I mentioned which I think I may have told you about this, but I was talking about how um, you know how the Lord allowed Casey to really help me through summer school, and yeah, that's why I said that's why I always consider her like a big sister. Um, say because she really kind of just like an older sibling, looking out for their younger sibling. That's pretty much how she was toward me. Motivating me to get like, yeah, that okay, yeah, I can pass these classes. And of course, the biggest moment that had nothing to do with the classes, but when I was stuck on the top of the bleachers because that dang principal told me to go up there when there was plenty of room on the bottom row. uh, and I was stuck up on the top of them bleachers, and everybody done left. School bell rang, and I'm looking down. I'm I'm as terrified as a cat in the tree. Then Casey came back, and it was like Gabe, it's like Gabe, just take your time, come on down. I'm not gonna leave until you come down, so that I make sure you get down safely. So like, okay, I kept my eyes focused, on my way down, and also on Casey kind of motivating and everything, sort of like Peter having to keep his eyes on Jesus. But thank God, at least I got across. But I guess, like Peter sank in the water and Jesus had to get him out there. I guess if I had got stuck, since Casey was there, I guess if I had gotten stuck on the bleachers, like all of a sudden, like, oh man, I can't get out, help, help. She probably, yeah, being that she was there, she would have came up and got me out there. So yeah, like it's yeah, that was so yeah, I was just mentioning about that there. Yeah, about that to me and everything. Um and then I mentioned about how in the ninth grade, my science teacher really helped me out because like I say, eighth grade I was yeah, I'm like like in your stream, EJ, you was admitting, like you wasn't all perfect and everything, and none of us are. Eighth grade, I was a big slacker. Kind of was slacking in seventh grade. I ain't gonna lie. Sixth grade, I did. I Sixth grade was my strongest year in middle school. But yeah, seventh grade, still kind of working, but I was starting to slack a little bit there and barely passed that year. Um, and then eighth grade, it was like, yeah, Gabe, you could have done a lot better. Now you didn't know, Gabriel. You didn't do the best that you could do. I know you do better than that. So yeah, I was really slacking eighth grade there. And like I say, my folk, yeah, they was on my case, but it was more like I say, constructive criticism, more just Gabe, you could have done better kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't like they weren't putting me down like oh now I feel like I can't do it there. Only reason I was depressed was I just felt that with myself. Nope, I mean my folks didn't put me down, but it was just I just felt that way. So yeah, and honest and to be honest, they didn't even they actually I think at some point I think when the first time I brought my first time I invited my grandparents to Brookwood, where I go now, where Casey also goes there, and both me and Christina. First time, I think it was Christmas. It was near Christmas that I brought my grandparents to visit Brookwood, and they met up, they met the pastor and everything, and they also met Casey and everything. Um, and one thing they say, they really liked it. It's like they really like how Pastor Rice taught and everything, and and they really and like say, oh wow, Gabe Casey seemed like a really good friend there. And I think that was the first time I shared of how she really looked out for me in summer school there. Like I say, just like an older sibling there. Yeah. So yeah, and as well as also how I felt when I was in summer school. Yeah, it's like wow, you really felt like that, Gabe, because I never had really said anything to anybody about how I felt there. So yeah, like I say, I should have there, but I didn't there. when it happened. Sometimes, yeah, we make that mistake too. And that's another thing when you're feeling that, especially that depressed like I was, you really got, yeah, it's, I mean, you got to have somebody that you can tell. Most importantly, you got to tell, because God is all knowing, you know, like, God, I'm really feeling down. I need some help here. And then allow the Spirit to lead you to somebody that you physically that you can talk to about it, because God works through people. Um, and that pretty much he was working through Casey to motivate me to get through summer school. And that's what's even like, yeah, and like I say, with God being all knowing, he also really, with us being human like we are, yeah, like I say, sometimes we should tell somebody that we need some help, but sometimes we don't always do that, and he knows that, so he's like, yeah, okay, Gabe, you ain't saying nothing, so um, okay, oh, okay, so you in summer school too. Um, Gabriel needs some help over there. Go sit with him at lunch, and y'all start kind of hanging out. Get his spirits up. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, that happens there. Like I say, is a all of us have been guilty of doing that. There, not speaking how we've been feeling about things when we know good and well we need some help there. So yeah, that was a major way of getting back up. The another like I said, oh yeah, and yeah, like I say, my teachers, they helped me through science and keyboarding class, especially keyboarding science class, and then the keyboarding class next to, because again, like I said, I was trying to, but like I say, I needed to see what I'm typing on. I got these keys covered. I can't work that way. And yeah, like I say, I don't know. I'm pretty sure there probably was some other kids in my position. Um, and obviously there was some kids who that didn't bother. But either way it go, teach thank glory be to God that just like my science teacher, my keyboarding teacher did see, like, okay, yeah, you're not very good with this, are you, Gabe? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cut you a break, Gabe. Just do the best you can. I got you, Gabe. I got you. So yeah, so, like I say, had somebody kind of looking out. Um, So ninth grade got through pretty well, like I say, even with the weak spots. 10th grade, kind of sort of but then I had to go to summer school again, but it wasn't because of the classes this time. They were trying again with that exit exam because they were trying to do it early. Like they had to take like math and reading in um, had to take math and reading in the 10th grade, 11th grade, had to take science and social studies. Then, so if you passed them all, then you wouldn't have to worry about them during your senior year. I had to worry about them in the senior year. But, like I say, yeah, I took it, then I had to retake it in summer school, retake it again. But, like I say, because of the first encounter after eighth grade, I was like, okay, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Name of Jesus, I'm gonna do this. It took a while, but when that senior year came, and they took all them tests again, we got to that fateful day of hearing the results. Dun-dun. Drum roll. I remember sitting next to I can't think what his name was, but it was another student that came in there. He was just as he was really worried. I mean, he was like, "Oh man, I've been taking this. I don't know if I'm going to graduate or not. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I had my Bible with me. I brought my Bible. I had just randomly brought my Bible with me and was praying. So I said, well, we can, okay, well, we can say a prayer together that we been. Okay, let's say, oh, okay, then let's pray then. So we prayed, and both of us passed. He got his results first. He was jumping and hollering, like, yeah, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, thank you, thank you. I got my test results. I was right behind him. Even on my way out, I even randomly hugged one of the girls. Hey, and I didn't get slapped. So, uh-oh. So, yeah, like I say that. So I was able to graduate and go into adulthood. Yeah. Whew. Yep. How? But like I say, you think like, okay, well, I guess he gonna go into his dream. He gonna go to college and just take on his dreams, and probably be big and all of that. And the bag of chips. Gabe just gonna do it all. Eh, well, about that. Um, well, I kind of got on to a somewhat decent start in college. I started at Southern University. Basic, because I was, yeah, I wanted to get like into the TV stuff like that. Southern didn't have that, so I think I'm not sure what it was, but I ended up enrolled at Southern. So I tried, and I thought I was going to get into journalism stuff like that, but I couldn't there. So I just took general studies. So I tried a semester out there. It was okay, okay. Um, I don't remember exactly the end results of the first semester, but I do know after it was over, I did because Casey was over at Bipsy, and I heard Bipsy what had telecommunications and stuff like that, where you could stuff for television and stuff. I'm gonna go over to Bipsy now. So yeah, after that first semester, I left, went over to Bipsy, um, and yeah, it was okay. I did get my telecommunications and stuff like that, and did kind of okay with that. Made Taught us how to make like sort of like them where they have camera one, camera two, stuff like that. We even made our own shows like had a skit of American Idol and stuff like that where we had had a a Simon that talked like this. It sucks. It's horrible. My ears are bleeding. and, and Paula do being drunk. Hey. And I was Randy Jackson because like, hey, what's up? So I was that there and made my so I even made one had it was supposed to be Medea and Mr. Brown in on the I think on Judge Judy. Oh boy, Tyler Perry. So okay, so yeah, that went okay and everything there, but then it was the other, like math and English and stuff like that. Those classes I had to go to again. And yeah, I was kind of under the impression that I was just going to go straight to telecom, straight to what I wanted to take and just that. But as Tony Stark saying no, it don't work that way. So yeah, I found that out the hard way. But I was like, okay, well, I'll go through this and everything. Yeah, this let's just say, okay, so this led to another downfall here, mostly with the out. It was algebra. College algebra became a big major downfall in my college life because yeah, like I say, I just was not getting it. Like basic math is fun, because we all need it. But that college algebra just killed me. And then to make matters worse, the teacher we had, like I say, he didn't. It just wasn't a good vibe with him. It's sort of like I say, you know how I said I butted heads with my eighth grade English teacher. My my freshman algebra teacher professor. Yeah, like I say, it was just sort of like I don't I'm not completely sure how to describe it, but it just I just didn't. I guess you could say I just didn't really feel comfortable. Just kind of the way his vibe and how he talked to me and stuff like that. Um, Talked to me and stuff like that. Just yeah, it wasn't like for instance, my world history professor was pretty cool. Was pretty cool and everything. I guess I'm not sure what to say about my English professor. But, don't really remember. But like I said, my telecommunication teachers were pretty decent and everything. But yeah, just that algebra just didn't do me right there. And you know how I say it was I sort of slacked in the eighth grade of middle school. Well, yeah, that kind of happened because of, like I say, how the vibe between me and the teacher was. Um, there were some times because of how like I say, how I felt in that class and stuff like that. Um, I I thought I is a which I shouldn't have done this, but I sort of with times I purposely skipped the class like on certain days there. Um, and there was a certain they had a limit of how many times you could be unexcused and stuff. Um, and I sort of took advantage of that there to hang out in the student lounge. Yeah, and play duel monsters and stuff there. So yeah, like I say, that was my big mistake and downfall there. Um, and then of course, like I say, class. Yeah, it took. Next thing you know, I think after 2 semesters, I was on academic probation, sort of like Will was in the episode of Fresh Prince. Yeah, and so that kind of ended my college life early. But so it's like that was a downfall. But what got me back up this time? It wasn't another college like camp like physically on campus. It was a trade in I took art instruction school, and I was able and with the help of the Lord, I was able to excel in that because art and stuff like that. And it really did, and yeah, because of that, like I say, I know I was improving with my drawings and stuff, like I showed you in I think like one of my last live streams one Saturday, past Saturday ago. But yeah, I think when I because of that art instruction school really elevated my drawing skills even more so. Um, yeah, so matter of fact, if you look at one of my shorts, one of the shorts on the channel, matter of fact, let's see if I can bring it up. So one of my shorts has a dragon that I drew for the art class. Uh, Go to YouTube here, hold this there, and bring that up. Okay, so you want to be like that, huh? Okay, so excuse me. Yeah, pretty good. Had some lasagna for dinner. Huh? Let's see. 3 minutes or less. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can bring it up here. Of course, I got the sound down because it's got some music in there. I don't want to get no copyright. Let's see, right. Ooh, that's nice. Right here. Got it. This is the okay. It's gonna come up in just a second. Um, I drew my own legendary dragon from my role plays in Yu-Gi-Oh, and here it is, Valsuki. Yep, that's kind of a bit close up and some of the details. It was drawn on like a poster. You see like all the different colors. Uh, the right. I called it Valsuki the Rainbow Dragon, and then later I found out that there was a Rainbow Dragon in Yu-Gi-Oh GX. I didn't know that when I drew this. So what I've called it now is the Rainbow of Valsuki. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Valsuki. Like it. Yeah, Valsuki. Yeah, the Rainbow of Valsuki. So yeah, they yeah, but yeah, that was what I did. So that really got me up from that fall there. I got a certificate and everything. Was able to get some graduate credits and everything. So that really helped me out there. Like I say, may not be exactly like coming out of college and everything, but it was something that's because but they always say sometimes college isn't for everybody. It all depends on what you're trying to get into. If you have to go, if it's you have to first figure out what it is you want to go into after you get out of high school and everything, and then kind of go from there. For instance, if you was trying to become like a firefighter or something, you probably, yeah, obviously you would go, try to be a firefighter, obviously, and go right into that profession. Doctor, yeah, you would have to take some college courses for that. I'm not sure how much, but I do know it's quite a bit that has to be taken to be like a doctor, nurse, and stuff like that. Don't get me started with surgeons there. So yeah, but yeah, it's all in what you want to do in your life. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's the determining factor and everything. Um, that was excuse me. But yeah, that kind of was so yeah, that was kind of some downfalls that I've gotten up from there. Like I say, with schooling, college, stuff like that. Um, one, I think there's a few others. Um, and I had to jump from. I was talking about the characters in the thumbnail to. I had to switch over because I wanted to talk to me before he left there, but um, okay, I mentioned about Darkwing, Static Shock, and of course Superman. Oh yeah, with the trailer. Yeah, how Crypto literally pulls him up and everything. And they repair him with the sunlight and stuff like that. So he literally got back up, and I guess when we see the movie, there's probably going to be something also possibly metaphorical that he might have fallen from, and maybe there might be a thing of having to maybe bring his confidence back or something like that. That could explain. Maybe that's what maybe the involvement of Hawkgirl and Green Lantern might play a role in that, or Mr. Terrific. Um, so something like that could possibly happen in getting Superman back up. Yugi, um, his whole thing of it's like when he dueled Kaiba to get into Pegasus's castle, because Kaiba was also trying to get in there to save Mokuba, and Kaiba thought he was, seemed like he was going to lose the duel, and he took it really to heart that I won't be able to save Mokuba, so he, like I say, pretty much both versions. They just sort of the dialogue just comes out a little differently, but he pretty much was going to jump off the castle there if he lost the duel because he felt like he wouldn't be able to go on in this world. And yeah, and of course, this kind of really freaked Yugi out to the point that he surrendered to Kaiba, which sort of caused his fall. Um, and it was, and just like how I mentioned, Casey helped me up. What's up? Ah, back. Welcome back again, EJ. Welcome back again. Yep. So, uh, but just like how Case helped me get back up in summer school, Taya pretty much helped Yugi to get back up, got him start won starships for my for him. And there was still the case that, okay, yeah, I'm up and, okay, let's go save grandpa. But then he was, yeah, I know, I see you did there. I mean, I figured, I knew you was going to do, I knew you'd obviously be watching it there, but yeah, yeah, so you kind of surprised me going on there Saturday because he was telling me you was going to be streaming Sunday. Yeah. So, I was like, wait a second here, what's going on? Yeah, they, they kind of clashing. Yeah, and yeah, originally, yeah. Okay, but and yeah, I don't know if you got. Well, I'm pretty sure you got the better. Yeah, I was looking forward to being off for Easter in general. But not only do they got me working Easter, but they want me to close. I'm like, dude, if I have, if, at least they could have had me in the morning, and then I would have, been free. Yeah, that's what I would have been. Yeah, like I see you starting early, like 6 o'clock. Yeah, I would have been, probably, had my dinner and stuff like that, and been chilling watching it live there. Even with it being early, yeah, because I knew, like I said, I knew you were gonna, knew you had been announcing about that. And yeah, they just put me on East. No, you work 12 to 8. Dang it! Like, really, Kroger? Yeah, boy. They do that at the worst times too. There. Yeah, but yeah, they just and like I said, and then the only reason I'm even doing this stream, like I say, because I was really, I had been talking with, me with the three eyes, and what he was going through just kind of, I just felt like I had to come on and like, okay, I need to share, I need to share, like, cause I was relating with what me was telling me about his school and stuff. So I was like, I I gotta share my story, say maybe put some motivation out there, So yeah, that's the only, yeah. So otherwise I would have been chilling tonight there probably. May would have came in there, but yeah, like probably would have came in there, but yeah, like I said, I wanted to kind of motivate me. That's all. So that's the yeah, that's kind of why there. Um, but yeah, yeah, I was talking with Yugi. But even though he, like, hey, I'm going to save my grandpa, there was still a bit of the whole Kaiba wanted to pretty much end his life thing that still had Yuki shook up. He and it was sort of had him distracted during his first semifinals duel and everything. So until not only his friend but Mai really was like, come on, Yuki, this is not your best. Look, I don't know what happened with that duel. I wasn't there. I don't know, but look, I want you dueling me at your best. You got to say look, say look what it may say whatever freaked you out in your battle with Kaiba. Have you come to grips with it? And eventually, yeah, he did there. So yeah, that was one way he came back up. Both Yugi and of course his other self. And of course there was another one with Waking the Dragons, mostly with his other self, losing Yugi because he made the mistake of playing the Seal of Orichalcos. It was yeah, he was really just beating himself up about it. He's like, it should have been me, not him. I'm the one who played that dark card, and yet his soul gets taken. Ugh. Yeah, but yeah, it really got the guy down there. So, yeah, it took quite a bit to get him up. But I mean, he was just it was just like it pretty much like me and some like me in the first time I went to summer school. Like I say, because I was slacking, and in a way, I kind of was beating myself up for slacking. And again, my folks didn't put me down, but I sort of put myself down out of in my depression now. So yeah, it was not pretty there. Yeah. So but yeah, that was how he got up, just like I just the grace of God that I did with Casey and through Casey and everything. And in Yugi's case with his friends. So and then speaking of that, kind of how I look. That's kind of how I look at with you, EJ, Casey, and also Queen Tina. We're pretty much like our own, Scooby Gang, Yugi Gang, all that together, Power Rangers and all that, lifting one another up there. So yeah, and that's why I really like our Miracle Crew there. It's about the closest foursome that there is with this there. So, yeah, so we are ones to lift each other up there. Yeah, like I say, so that yeah, like I said, I think that's pretty. Let's see, I think I mentioned. I think that's pretty much it there. It's 10, there. So I think that's yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Like I say, basically just the meat of it was basically like we fall down and get back up. What we've fallen down with there and how we getting back up there. So yeah, basically that's what this was for there. Yeah, so yeah, like I say that. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up here, and like I say, I guess I really wish Kroger would have and either had me off tomorrow because then I could have also enjoyed Easter at my church before WrestleMania, or at least if I just have to work, I mean at least have me open up there. I'm just saying, and then I can at least have that night free, to just hang out and stuff. And yeah, it would, and yeah, could have definitely been in the stream, but yeah, I don't want you to. No, we don't want Gabe to be in the stream of WrestleMania. No, you can't do that tonight, Gabe. So, mm, and oh well, but anyway, yeah, like I said, that's pretty much it for tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna close this up. And to anybody watching on the replay, definitely like, share, subscribe, be motivated. Um, definitely get our available books, and also definitely support us on that Patreon. Just like EJ the Supreme, Big Sis Casey, and Iceman Universe. Yeah, because let's just and like I say, that's also another motivation of supporting us content creators and everything. That's also yeah, because like I say, I'm gonna be honest. I do what I do because for one thing, I've grown up playing with a video camera before YouTube was even a thing. I've made home movies and stuff like that. So being in front of a camera, I'm no stranger to that. And when YouTube became a thing, and I first got into it, just making random videos, and then 2010 making music videos, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that you could make money off monetization or And I know it was like later when Patreon came along. It wasn't, yeah, that was like later. But yeah, I didn't know that there was ways you could earn stuff off of YouTube. My thing was trying to get discovered with the music videos and maybe make it big like Justin Bieber, yeah, something like that. Uh, Next thing you know, it had me singing, "Baby, baby, baby, oh yeah, baby, 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 no." So, uh, yeah, I was looking to see. I was thinking something like that would happen at some point. I mean, in some cases it does because it worked for Justin Bieber, but that doesn't. It's not a guarantee that that would work for everybody though. And whether it does or not, it is it's a chance taker. So, but like it's, but either either way, whether I got discovered or not, I was having a good time, and I still have a good time here on YouTube. Like I say, if I wasn't having a good time, I wouldn't be doing this. Just like in your case, EJ, you basically entertainment and stuff like that. Obviously, I know you having fun with that. Just like Friday when you and when y'all were having that discussion about King James and all that there. So yeah, like I said, that's one thing they always tell you. Make sure you're having fun with what you're doing too, even something for a living there, or you trying to make it into something that you can make a living off. You can at least have fun. Like something like this, it's no guarantee that it might take off right away or not. But are you having fun? Because if you're having fun, you're gonna keep at it regardless of what happens. So yeah, and that's the same with us. There, we just have ourselves a good time. But like I say, even in having a good time, hey, we want we want a little monetary support. Like I say, either way, we're still gonna do this. But yeah, yeah, it's nice to have a little monetary support on that. Like I say, and especially with the book writing, I love writing the books. They are fun to do. But yeah, like my mom say, make something off of that. There, and they make something of it, Gabe. So that's what that's why I'm pushing the way I do. Like I say, but during the push, I am gonna have some fun though. So yeah, that's one thing about it. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, definitely support us on that Patreon, buy books, as well. Our miracle crew, like EJ and Big Sis Casey and Queen Tina, all of us together, going to not just this channel, but all of our channels there. Um, me and EJ pretty much the ones that are putting out a lot of the current stuff. Yeah, the current uploading videos on a daily basis. Yeah, so yeah. And also definitely Iceman Universe because he's got full length reactions to Hey Arnold, Ed, Ed Eddie, Naruto, One Piece, and I also forgot to mention some movies too. But yeah, definitely support him on the Patreon too. And since he's both me and him are supporting one another. So yeah, that way just like I'm doing, and just like he's supporting us. Support each other. So, yeah, do that there. And just like you're hanging out on the live stream, hang out on Discord and Facebook, and sell each other some stuff on that Macari app there. And we will see y'all in the next stream, I guess. And I guess any WrestleMania fans, yeah, check. I won't be able to see it because Kroger want me to work at night. But hey, y'all check it out for me. Check it out for me. Let your boy know what happened and what happened with John Cena and also Easter then. Oh, also EJ, since you say you playing Jesus in your church play, if they just remember how you sent me that the link to your church service, how you sent me and Casey that link. Yes, send us that link so we can see your performance there. Yes, if they got it available, yes, send it so so we can check that out there, see how you do as Jesus. So, yeah, I want to see that there. Yeah, so okay, but so yeah, like I say, if I supposed to do, yeah, we are going to close this out there. 1 hour 45 minutes. That's close enough, and we'll see y'all in the next video. And I'll have the schedule up tomorrow. Take care, everybody.